Mad Dog was once again a clue, and it was implied several different times whether we wanted to pay attention to it or not. Mad Dog, okay, is a character, and he was played by somebody far more important. And as you see, GTA San Andreas, okay, Mr. Mad Dog was played by a very notable character and a very notable actor and or rapper, and his name is Ice-T. Now, I want you guys to realize the relevancy here within Ice-T, you guys. Alright? Law and Order is one of the most noted shows that he is actually on right. Realize a connection here. Ned Luke, okay? The actor who plays Michael DeSanta. He actually has done a lot of things, but one thing that he's noted for is playing on Law and Order, the Special Victims Unit. Here we have Mr. Julian Gamble, okay, who plays Davey within GTA 5, and what's pretty interesting about him is that he even was on Law and Order. Interesting.
Sitting here reading the Liberty Tree, and it says in nearby Carcer City, a good day for law and order, good day for law and order as police changes in a controversy.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Woodz. In this video, you guys, this is a continuation of why retro gaming is important. Now, within our first few episodes, we brought up a lot of different relevancies within Atari 2600 and exactly why it relates to Pac-Man, and even within our time travel includes, we understood why Pac-Man relates to 78 and 10, which is 88. Now, the point here, you guys, is that we need to understand that certain things are being implicated within retro games, and it's no different than what we just looked at within our process and our clues within cinema, and why cinema is important, but why it just mixed within our retro game and it just pointing to a clue such as Law and Order. Okay, now I want you guys to realize it's wordplay mixed at its highest point of understanding something built within their radio station when you're focusing on something musical. Okay, now the point is that subliminal messages, okay, whether they be Illuminati or even MK Ultra testing bullshit, we need to realize that at the end of the day, conspiracy theories or not, we need to realize that they based a lot of their clues on literal brainwashing, or that in reverse. Well, the point is to control that brainwash and understand when the clues are universal enough for us to see. And when we see them, such as blue or even the inversion from blue and peach color, we need to realize that these spectrums are there for a reason and they teach us certain things. And blue was one of the biggest things that we needed to pay attention to.
I'll be with you in a minute, Sparkplug. Hey, I'm Joey. Luigi said you were reliable, so come back later. There might be some work for you.
Now, what I'm showing you guys here within this mission, okay, is not only this character, Joey, okay, and not really just this mission, but the point of why we need to realize that they had been pointing towards this game from the very beginning within GTA 5, okay? One thing I want to clarify, okay, that honest to God, as a community, it's poisonous towards the mystery that I need to make this very, very clarified, okay? We need to stop calling it the Chiliad mystery, okay? You know why? Because when we label it just the Chiliad mystery, Okay, we need to realize that we don't know what Rockstar intended this mystery to be, and we don't know how big they intended it to be. It honestly could be a lot bigger. It could be just a Rockstar mystery in its whole. Just because it started for us to see a mural doesn't mean that they had been laying down the same amount of clues in different ways. The point is that we needed to see something physical and blatant as that in order for us to trigger all of these clues that we had already been seeing and go back to see that they were relevant. Now, realizing that, okay, we need to realize that a big part of a clue has been right in front of our face the second we came into this cutscene, and it's tied to this car that's right behind Misty, and it is the BIFTA. Okay, now one of the reasons I'm bringing it up is that within this mystery, once again, I brought up that shades of blue, okay, different spectrums, okay, not only the inversions from purple and green that they show, all right, but spectrums, all right, from different blues. They teach you different things and bring up relevant clues as to what they were bringing up in the first place and why they tied one clue to the next. Now, I want you guys to realize something. We've been getting a lot of free DLC, and I mean like every single bit of it. And Rockstar's been very generous. Now, I want you to realize one reason why they've been very generous is because otherwise we wouldn't have been getting all of the same clues at once, or all of the same clues in one grand scheme or not. I mean, some would have bought the DLC and some wouldn't have. So at the end of the day, we wouldn't have seen certain things, and some would have been seeing more things than the other. Say you would have gotten a stronger clue in this DLC and then took it to another realm and never understood some of the other clues because you didn't focus. Now, the point at which I'm getting at here is that in our first DLC, okay, now understand and stay with me here. The first DLC ever in GTA 5 was the Beach Bum DLC update, okay? Now, I want you to realize what we got. All right, in the first DLC, guys, all right, we got the fucking BIFTA. All right, now I want you guys to realize this fucking car, all right, it's not that this is going to lead straight to a jetpack and so on and so forth, okay, within a structure of looking at clues so fucking rushed. You know, I want you guys to understand the clues at which you hold them, because the fact is that that's why we don't understand anything. And honestly, before I continue, for a lot of people who have been asking me about the fucking black cell phone thing, I'm going to make one comment about it right now. I know nothing about it, and I don't think even the people who found it know much about it. I just think that it happened, and it's not going to change much, but that's my personal opinion. Could there be possibilities? Yes, and that's all I'm saying. I'm just not going to talk about it because personally, I just don't see it going any further than what it's already been. So it is what it is. But to continue, the fact is here, you guys, is that the BIFTA, okay, the BIFTA was given to us by Rockstar, all right? In fact, more notably recently, we actually got a little mode where we could actually play football with these damn things. Now, I want you guys to understand the point, all right? They keep bringing relevancy right back to this fucking car, and it's very interesting that in one of the first few missions in GTA 3 is exactly where we ever saw this fucking car. Now, I want you guys to realize this is a big point of what I mean by hidden clues bound by things in their past and understanding them as such. Because if we don't understand them deeper, we don't understand that the clues were being given to us in a certain order, okay? Now that we know that retro games are important, we need to realize that not only is GTA's past and a lot of the Rockstar's retro games are important, but a lot of the retro games that are tied to, once again, Atari and Atari 2600 that have been tied within this game and the clues forth that are going to teach us new things today. Now, what I want you guys to pay attention to here is Mr. Trevor Phillips, okay? Because throughout the story, he's done a lot of different things, you know, I mean, whether entertaining or vile or anything that we know them to be, whatever the fuck, The point is, you guys, is that we need to realize that, you know, a lot of what they're saying within the story mode and saying back and forth is relevant within wordplay and what we need to pay attention to. Now, one of the things that is very interesting is his interactions with Michael, okay, which is a very important thing throughout this mystery. He winds up throughout the majority of the game, okay, Trevor mostly puts Michael on the spot, calling him a snake, okay, a snake or a worthless wretch. Now, I want you to pay attention to something here. He calls him a snake. Now, I know a few of you know exactly what I'm getting at here, and the fact is that throughout a majority of the game, he is calling him a snake. I mean, yes, there are other names, whether rat and so on and so forth, but I want you to pay attention to that fact. He calls him a snake.
Start hacking their network to speak to you for a week and then spread nasty rumors behind your back and maybe set up a Life Invader page about what a creep you are.
Now, what I'm showing you here, you guys, okay, is a bit of, once again, their pattern, okay, and how they show you clues that are leading into things that have honestly not what you think to do with GTA, but they have everything to do with the mystery, okay? Now, Snake, okay, if you don't know about a game called Snake, this is clearly what we are playing when we are playing the online game. Now, once again, if you don't know Snake, I'm going to show you exactly what Snake is. And this is the video game Snake, okay? Now, the reason I brought you guys here is, once again, okay, is to show you the importance of retro games and why they give a fuck about this shit, okay? Because, once again, Snake, okay, a word, once again, wordplay is what brought us here, but understanding that its biggest concept within this entire game, you guys, is a maze, okay? So, once again, realizing that a word, like maze, brought us right back into a clue that segregated from a snake and tied all of this together. Now, the point here, you guys, is that we need to go a little bit deeper and realize the origins of this game. Now, the concept originated in 1976 in the arcade game called Blockade. Now, once again, Blockade, okay, is a black and white arcade
maze game.
Alright? Maze game. Now, I want you to realize, you guys, mazes have been a big part of GTA from the very beginning, and it's for segregation and universal clues. We needed to understand this, okay? Now, once we realize that we're going deeper, and even realizing that Atari is tied to this, we need to realize that this is a big part of understanding the clue here, okay? Now, let's go a tad bit deeper and realize a bit of its developer, okay? Gremlin, okay? Now, Gremlin Industries here is a very, very interesting company, and for more ways than one. But among these different ways that it is relevant within this mystery, I want you guys to understand a bigger relevancy within this company, and that is Frogger, okay? Now, realizing that Sega and Gremlin is tied to this game, among others, is very interesting because Frogger, okay, segregating a name once again within wordplay using the tool that we have set forth, okay, realizing the name and its importance has tied us to a clue within GTA, okay, a big part of this clue that I've made relevant since the beginning of my videos, and that is a helicopter, okay? We have a helicopter called the Frogger, all right? Now realize, when we need to understand that there are wordplays and simulations and metaphors here to kind of screw around with enough to know, we need to realize that birds, okay, that are tied to the folklore of understanding GTA and its helicopters is also tied to understanding chickens and so forth. But no different than looking at, once again, a clue that I brought up like the Atari 2600, we need to realize that Frogger, okay, is tied to a lot of different things, okay? like spectrums, okay, and even, once again, this fucking system, alright? Now, I made the Atari 2600 very known within its console that it is tied to Space Invaders for more reasons than one, but that's neither here nor there. I want you guys to realize that there's a duality of Frogger, okay, or a clone and or a twin. And it is called Freeway, okay? Now, before we go into this game, I want you guys to realize that this game wasn't necessarily just a clone, because it was actually developed independently of the other, basically Frogger. They were both released within the same year, so there's no way that this game could have possibly copied its entire scheme. The point is that this game is based on a chicken, okay? A chicken crossing the road. So once again, realizing, you guys, a bird tied to a helicopter tied to Frogger, alright? All of these things tied all of these clues together. Now, I didn't just take you here to look at clues, tied to clues, tied to clues. They do have a grand scheme here, you guys. I know that over the times I get many different questions and so on and so forth, and one of the biggest questions that I get is, you know, what is the point of this, or you know, is this gonna go anywhere, and oh, this is cool, but oh, it's not going anywhere. No, listen, okay, this is just huge. It's huge. When I mean it, I say this with God honesty, okay? It is huge. They made this mystery a lot bigger than anyone's complex to understand one game, which is why they tied it to their history. They're not fucking around when they made this shit, you guys, because it wasn't made overnight. And that's just a fact. Now, in my last video, a few people disagreed, which is okay, you know, I mean, far be it for everyone to agree with me. It's okay if, you know, you have different ideas, and that's okay. The point here, you guys, is that I want you guys to understand what I'm getting at, okay? The Altiris camp, okay, I'm going to prove once again why a lot of these clues and deeper outlooks of the game are hidden and locked behind understanding wordplay and deeper things behind the wordplay, okay? The Altiris cult, okay, is a malevolent religion comprised entirely of old men from
The baby boomer generation.
Okay, now I want you guys to sit well with that information and understand what I just said with the baby boomer generation. Okay, now even within the game, the in-game newspaper, okay, this Nora Bacon, they talk about these men that live in the Chiliad mountain state wilderness, and they're talking about the cult camp, okay? Now, the point here is that they once again bring up the loss of baby boomers, okay, and why it seems to be made up of baby boomers, okay? Even when they happen to take Trevor within this little side mission that we thought, you know, leads to a lot of different things, they actually bring it up again and say, we shall boom again. Now, I want you guys to understand what I'm talking about here. Why do they keep talking about baby boomers? Why do they make a repeating clue keep repeating, okay? Why are they redundant in what they're telling you? Why do they keep doing it? Now, the point for repeating this clue is so they're drilling it into your mind, okay? And it's so you can understand deeper things like a game that is tied to another universal clue like 1988, okay? Baby Boomer. This game was developed in 1988 and released in 1989, okay? Now, I want you guys to realize something. This game, once again, segregates itself by the clue within its name, okay? Within its name, segregated, no different than going deeper and understanding colors and dreams, okay? A big part of this mystery and a big part of things that we have always known, like from the very beginning of my videos, I've always told you that all of these things are going to be bound by colors and spectrums of those colors, but also dreams, which is why I showed you guys the Matrix and a lot of other things beforehand. Now, understanding this, you guys, okay, not only are we talking about 8-bit Nintendo's systems, okay, we are talking about a company that was the successor to Wisdom Tree, okay, and founded in 1988. Now, I want you guys to take hold of what I'm talking about here, because this is a very interesting company. I mean, no lie, they've actually made a few things. Now, Wisdom Tree, okay, realize that Wisdom Tree is the successor, all right, of this company, all right, and they make Christian video games. So once again, an implication right back into religion, okay, no lie. Color Dreams and Baby Boomers even ties into clues that we have seen from the very beginning that are brought up within my theories, you guys. My theories. From Bible Adventures to Exodus, okay? From King of Kings, Joshua.
I showed up on set, very excited about this beer that I grew, but Ridley, you know, wanted me to play the young version of Joshua as well.
Spiritual Warfare, Bible Buffet, and Super 3D Noah's Ark, okay? Now, I want you to realize, early on in my theories, okay, and still even now, I bring up a lot of different implications as to why all of this brings us right back into religion, because a big part of this whole Easter egg is tied to it, and it's tied into cults, and a lot of understanding why we needed to understand cults in order to understand this Easter egg. Now, I want you guys to understand once again and refresh your mind on what we're talking about, okay? The Altiris camp, they take you to a cliff, okay? They take you to the edge of a fucking cliff, and then they do a ritual where they tell you about baby boomers and so on and so forth. Now, I want you guys to understand something here, okay? Baby boomer is based on Baby Boomer, who decided to leave his crib and set out for the dangerous wilderness. Okay, now where do the Altiris camp live? Okay, where is the Altiris camp? It's in the Chiliad Mountain State wilderness. Okay, the wilderness outside of his house. Now, as Boomer crawls across the screen toward many dangers, such as birds of prey. Okay, once again, you guys, birds of prey evolved from raptors, okay? Think about it. Evolution and so forth, okay? Birds of prey and bottomless pits, okay? The player uses his or her Nest Zapper, okay, which is the little light gun that you got with the game, okay, to shoot hazards before they hurt Boomer, okay? Now, shooting birds kills them, okay? Shooting clouds makes them form ice bridges over pits, okay, to form a bridge. Now, realize the level environments included a graveyard, the pearly gates of heaven, and even the pits of hell, okay? Think about it. Up to 2 players can participate simultaneously and use the SNES controller along with the zapper. This game was Color Dream's first game. Like their other unlicensed games, rather than the typical gray SNES cartridge, Baby Boomer is baby blue with altered design. Okay, now realize, you guys, this is not a coincidence, okay? There's no way this is a coincidence. I need you guys to understand. The Altiris camp speak of the same color, okay? This color, one cyan block, okay? And they speak of baby boomers, okay? This fucking game happens to be the exact same assimilation, okay? That they're telling us in the game. Now, the point here is, you guys, is that not only is this game relevant for bats, okay, but for a lot of different reasons, like snakes, okay? I want you guys to realize that there's a lot more clues along the way. But for now, spread the truth.